Welcome to Lecture 9. Today's topic is inheritance. So, before we go into today's topic, let us look at a code snippet that I have written. So, here I have written or extended my previous version of the circle class. So, this is a new package, inheritance example. In that package, I'm importing local date time, because in my circle class now, other than the radius field, I have added three more data fields. One is a string type color, another is boolean type field, another one is this local date time type date created. So it means basically when we create the circle, say if we want to draw the circle, then we can color the circle and we can decide whether we want the color to be filled or just the border. Accordingly, I have three constructors. One is the noArgument constructor, where the radius default value I am putting as 1, the color I am putting a default color blue, and the date created, this one I'm taking this local date time dot now. So I'm taking the system time automatically. Next, I have another choice of constructor, so I'm overloading my constructor circle, where I'm taking the only the radius as input parameter. So I'm putting that radius value as my radius data field. And in order to do that, I am using the same name as my data type, data field radius. So here the parameter name is also the same radius. So how do we distinguish that this radius is different than the data field radius? So if we put it like this, so this is my IDE, and you can see that the IDE itself has given this a different color. Here the color of radius is blue, but here the color of radius is brown. That means this radius and this radius is something different. The scope of this particular radius is the entire class, where the scope of this radius is only this circle constructor. So inside our constructor, if we put it like this, we are omitting the this keyword, we can see the color of this radius becomes brown again. Why? Because now this radius is simply the local variable radius. And that's a logical error, because if we assign the value of radius into itself, then we have no change in our data field. In order to avoid this, we can put this, then directly the color of radius will be different. That means actually this radius parameter is from our data field. Okay, then the color, the data field color, I'm putting the same default value blue, and similarly date created, I'm taking the local time from my system. Then I have another constructor overloaded circle, but now I'm taking three input parameters: double radius, string color, and boolean field, and accordingly I'm putting all these values into the corresponding data field. So I'm using this keyword, this dot radius equal radius, this dot color equal color, and this dot field equal field. And this date created, this is my again, I am taking this automatically from my system. Then I have some getter and setter methods. So for the radius, because I have make all my data fields as private, so I am having my get radius and set radius method. Get color, set color. Is field, this is similar to the getter method of field, and set field. Then get date created, but you see there is no set date created, because the date created field will come from the system itself automatically, and only during the creation of the circle. Then there are other methods like get diameter, which will return just 2 times radius, get area, the pi r square, get perimeter, the 2 pi r value. So these are my other methods. Similar to this, I have another class, rectangle.java, where I have two data fields, double width and double height. And I have also, because if you want to draw this rectangle, I also need to color it. So I have a data field string color, where the default is white. I have another data field boolean field, because I want to make sure how I color it, whether I color it by filling the entire place or only the border. Then the local date time, date created. Then I have also constructors, a no argument constructor with all the default values, a constructor with the default with the width and height parameter, a constructor with width, height, color and field. Then the getters and setters. So getters and setters for the width field, the height field, the color field, the year field. The only the getter method for the date created, and then other methods, get area, which returns the area width times height, and get perimeter, which is 2 times width plus height. So if you see this code, you can already see that in these two classes there are data fields and there are methods that are common in both these classes. For example, these three data fields. These three data fields are in rectangle class and also in the circle class. Similarly, there are methods, this get color, set color, then is field, set field, get date created. They are in the circle class. They are also in the rectangle class. If we now see here, get color, set color, is field, set field, get date created, they are also in the rectangle field. So our target of programming is always to automate some processes and to look for ways how we minimize code. We can also avoid using redundant code. So our target would be to reuse codes. So here we see that we have common attributes in both the circle class and the rectangle class. Similarly, if we think about other shapes like triangles or pentagons or octagons, if you want to draw them, they will also have the color, the field, and the date created data field. So in order to avoid writing the same code in all of these classes, we can think of a way to minimize this common code rewriting. So that's the target of today's class, inheritance, and we will see shortly how we can come up with this idea.